Jurassic World Rebirth has now officially released in theaters, so it is time for us to go into full spoilers. So that's exactly what I'll be doing here for you guys, is giving you my Jurassic World Rebirth spoiler review, diving into the best parts of this movie, the worst things about it, Easter eggs, things you might have missed, and theorizing about the next trilogy, because this is supposed to be the start of a new era for Jurassic Park. But either way, it won't just be about my opinion. I really want to hear from you guys, whether you were someone that walked out super disappointed with this movie or pretty pleasantly surprised. I want to know what you thought about the movie as well as what you want to see next. Alright, so just kicking things off here. So again, I did come out a little bit mixed on the movie. I didn't walk out loving it as much as I wanted to, but the things that left me most satisfied with this movie is just Gareth Edwards bringing back the scares into the dinosaurs, all the awesome set pieces, and how my heart was actually racing a number of times throughout the course of this movie. I thought made it for an entertaining, enjoyable ride. Yes, the story was very basic and lacking, and not all the characters were well developed, and heck, let's just begin into the things that really brought this movie down a notch, because I don't want people to forget. This was a really rushed project by Universal for some reason, where in the span of 12 months, they kicked this movie into high gear and just put it out there. And it is a little sad remembering that, because I think if they just gave this movie a little bit of time and tweaked a few things, this could have been something great. So, okay, let's begin off with the start of this movie. So, every Jurassic Park movie always begins with a little scare and thrill of a dinosaur incident. It's part of the formula of making a Jurassic Park movie, and 7 movies in, they are still staying true to that formula. And from the trailers, I figured this was gonna be an easy win for them. Like, this is just gonna be awesome. You see the containment unit, the burst of red lights. I was like, no way, they can mess this up. And then out of nowhere, a floating Snickers bar appears on the screen. No! It didn't bug me as much. In fact, I feel like it would have just kind of breezed over if it wasn't product placement. That's one of the things that kind of bugs me about movies nowadays, is they never create their own in-universe products anymore. Because I think if that Snickers bar was like a made-up candy bar within the Jurassic Park universe, like a candy bar they would sell in the theme park, it wouldn't have been that jarring and weird to us. But the fact that it is a dang Snickers bar that causes a malfunction with this high-tech, expensive equipment, bro, some people already were like, yep, I'm hating this movie, and they just sat through with that hate. I didn't let that bug me as much, but I was like, seriously? There's a million other things you could have done to set off a chain reaction of electrical issues or problems, getting a Snickers wrapper sucked through the vent, and that leading to the ultimate demise of an entire island? Come on now. But whatever, we breeze on by that, and we are now set in modern day New York, I believe it is. And this is something that just made me really sad for the state of the franchise, because Jurassic World Rebirth takes place after the last 3 Jurassic World movies with Chris Pratt. And this is a universe where dinosaurs do happen to be everywhere, but as the movie explains, they have now mostly died off due to our conditions, and a lot of them have moved to the equator. They really want you to know the equator's where the dinos be. And so we get a scene of a dinosaur that's like holding up traffic at a light, and there's all these construction people trying to get it out of the way. And everyone in this world is still going about their day, joggers, people going to work, just like, oh, this annoying thing in traffic. And it's like, bro, these dinosaurs used to mean something. This franchise used to have magic. And it's like the movie itself saying, people don't care about dinosaurs. Do you, the audience, still care about these dinosaurs? Do you like Jurassic Park anymore? It's commentary that could have worked, because I do like whenever they go to the dinosaur museum where we meet Jonathan Bailey's character, and it's like, hey, we're being shut down. In a world where dinosaurs are back to life, no one is interested in just looking at the bones of dinosaurs anymore. But it just feels more like an ironic thing the movie is bringing up, because we just spent an entire trilogy hoping the excitement of dinosaurs being everywhere would mean something to audiences, when honestly we could care less, and now we're trying to move past that with a rebirth. But this is where we then find out the basic idea of what this movie wants to do is extract dino DNA from 3 of the largest dinosaurs. They have to be from land, sea, and air for medical purposes. Honestly, simple enough plot. I don't need you to overcomplicate things. I was honestly okay with this being the story. And so with that set up, we get our heroes rounded up and we head to the island where we meet some characters. So let's break down a couple of these characters. I've already talked about it. I like Scarlett Johansson as an actress. I think she is a really good actress. actress, but the script and material she was given in this movie do not do her any favors. I still think she can carry a trilogy on her own, but when she does end up showing up again, I hope they give her more interesting things to do, because they give her this backstory of a teammate of hers that she just lost on a mission that is leaving her heartbroken and sad, and honestly, we don't get to see that same attention to the current team she has when those people start dying off one by one. And it's even with the way the script is written that everything feels so clunky or calculated with the way information is given, because there is that scene between Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali's character where they're like, all right, we got some downtime. Let's give up our backstories. I had a teammate that died. Your turn, Mahershala. I had a son that died. And I'm watching the movie going, this is such an odd way to just randomly give these characters their backstories. I wonder how it's going to play in. And as the movie goes on, you go, oh, they gave Mahershala Ali this dead child backstory so that whenever we introduce the children, he feels so protective and responsible for these kids because he knows what it's like to lose a child. It's like, okay, I see what the movie was doing there, and I just don't think it came off naturally. It felt more like an obvious setup, and heck, jumping off that point, let's go to the family on the boat. I'm seeing this family get a lot of hate, and I feel like I'm one of the only people that actually enjoyed these characters. Although you're seeing me nitpick this movie a lot, I am still an enjoyer of this film, and I feel like I like it more than a lot of the other people out there. And so to me, it was really fun to see like a military group with training and weapons struggle and fight for survival, while on the opposite side of that, we would then get scenes of this family with no training, no weapons, also struggling to survive. Was there a lot of conveniences or those cliche moments where like a dinosaur is literally about to bite off their leg or arm and they miss it by like an inch? Yeah, but that literally happens in every single Jurassic Park movie. I thought the opening with them in the mosasaur and on their boat was really cool. It like gave me a lot of fear because again, the ocean is a scary place, and they had two great set pieces with the family boat and the military boat that also involved the Spinosaurus. Like, I thought those scenes were fun. But although I enjoyed a lot of these family characters, there was one character within that family that was pissing me off and I was just not happy with, and that was the boyfriend character. His name is Xavier, and the way he's introduced, I think you're supposed to not like him, or he's supposed to come off as the comedic relief because this dad is doing like a one last trip with his daughter before she goes off to college. He's a divorced parent, which weirdly enough, divorce is brought up in like every single Jurassic Park movie, so as part of the formula, someone gonna get divorced. But this dad is like trying his best to bond with the boyfriend, except that he has a relationship with his daughter, and the boyfriend is doing everything to ruin that, being lazy, not wanting to help out, just wanting to sleep and be a bum. And I'm like, why would they write this character this way? This is such an unlikable guy. It's not even funny to me. I just want the dinosaur to chop his head off. And then it became clear why this was happening. As the movie continues on and more dino mayhem happens, the boyfriend becomes an upstanding citizen. He helps the little sister, the daughter, the father, and they escape death a couple of times. But then there is a moment after Xavier saves them and the dad has like a heart-to-heart with the boyfriend. They talk about, well, like the daughter's about to go off to college. Xavier's not going to go to that college. He's still staying where he is. And they're, I guess, planning to have a long-distance relationship. It's obvious what the movie was trying to do. Xavier is not a bum, lazy, dumb boyfriend. He was purposely acting that way so the girlfriend would break up with him because he knows you're about to go off to college. You're going to have a great life. I'm not there yet. I think I'm a loser compared to you. You deserve better. And that's why I'm acting this way. And then the girlfriend character isn't as dumb because she knows he's acting up on purpose and she knows how he really is. And that's why she's letting all these dumb things he's doing slide. That was the obvious arc for that boyfriend. But a lot of people will miss that or it'll go over their heads because Jurassic World Rebirth does not want to have closure on these character arcs. That's where that storyline was going to end. And that's what was going to happen with this character. But we don't get that finale. In fact, the movie just kind of forgets about these character arcs or these moments a lot. And that's what I mean. Just polishing this script or tweaking a few moments could have really have made this stand out. Another character, though, I did enjoy was Jonathan Bailey. I thought it was really interesting and a cool Easter egg that they threw in that he studied under Alan Grant. I felt like the raptor from Jurassic Park 3 in that moment.
Alan,
I have no idea if they're wanting to lead up to another Jurassic World Dominion situation where they'll bring in legacy, old, and new characters all into one. Feels like they've already botched that once, but having an Alan Grant connection in there, never gonna say no to that. One random thing that I thought was gonna be a big deal or mean something in the movie was like that temple and ruins that they found on the island. Like, what is that? Who created that? There's like small mention that there's maybe a village of people living on this island, but maybe that was just the compound that they go to at the end of the movie. That feels like a civilization built that or it meant something, but no, it's just like breezed by. I hated how predictable it was on the characters that would live and who would die. I think that's what really lent the movie to feel safe to a lot of people out there. But honestly, even with some of those flaws and huge nitpicks I had, I still can't get over how great the dinosaurs were, how great those set pieces are. It's the things that's gonna make this one very rewatchable for me. That's why I put it up in the same category as Jurassic Park 3. It hits a lot of those same notes for me, and Jurassic Park 3 is the one Jurassic Park movie outside the first I could rewatch over and over. It's also even crazy just to hear other people's opinions and kind of agree that this is probably the best Jurassic Park movie with the word world in the title, because I would kind of agree on that. I'm still on the opinion that I like this one about as much as the first Chris Pratt one, but at least in this movie, the dinosaurs felt like actual animals. They felt like dinosaurs. They weren't doing this out of the ordinary weird things. Sure, I would have liked if they leaned into the mutated angle just a little bit more. I mean, the T-Rex was obviously a super disappointing part. There needed to be so much more involvement with that creature, but it honestly just feels like a figure in a shadow in the background who knows if we'll ever see again. But even with the disappointment of the T-Rex, at least with the raft scene and the T-Rex is a scary, monstrous villain again, because dude, heart was racing that entire raft scene. My God, that was a great moment, and there's no amazing scene like that throughout the rest of the Jurassic World movies. But okay, getting on though to the end of the movie and how this sets up further sequels and what they could do, because I was seeing a lot of people complain that there is no clear path. There is no answer to what they're gonna do next. There was no post-credit scene, no nothing. And that's where I would also go, no, there was a clear way that there's gonna be more movies. So Jonathan Bailey's character convinces Scarlett Johansson that, hey, this dino DNA that we just collected, I know you were gonna give it to InGen for a lot of money, make yourself super rich, but what if we just free sourced it? What if we gave it to the world? That way anybody can make this medicine, give it out to who they want, and it won't just be for the rich people. It's like, okay, cool. But think about what they're doing. For the longest time in the Jurassic Park franchise, the people who got to make the dinosaurs, clone them, experiment on them, it was usually one or two companies. Now what they have done, they think they are doing good by giving out dino DNA to the world. They just opened a can of worms, baby. They're not gonna just be able to make medicine with that. No. There are gonna be now multiple companies that can create their own dinosaurs, make their own theme parks, have their own experiments, even maybe lead into cloning more little girls like in Fallen Kingdom. And that to me is the clear path and the setup for what these next couple of movies are, is these characters then having to deal with the consequences of letting anyone and everyone have access to that sacred DNA. We saw that was a big thing that companies were trying to get, even in the first Jurassic Park movie. Newman tried giving that dino DNA. Now we're actually going to be seeing companies get that. And so this, I think, leads into endless possibilities for where the movies could go next, because let's say there's a company in Japan that's like, hey, Americans didn't do Jurassic Park good. We're making our own park secure, safe, and we could have a park in Japan. Or we have someone over here that's like, hey, I kind of like this bioengineering weaponizing with the laser dinosaurs. Let's continue on that research. Let's make intelligent dinosaurs. Let's make human dino hybrids, which I know it's probably not what we want, but there's somebody out there that could do it now. That to me was the setup at the end of the movie, is them thinking they're putting that DNA out there so people can make medicine. They ain't gonna make medicine with that, buddy. But even with all those ideas, I just don't know what you do with Jurassic Park or World anymore. I'm not of the hater or the angry fan that's like, put this franchise to rest, let it go. I still want to see as many as you can, as long as they're good. I think the problem also is the formula that we have with with these movies, because there's just a clear formula that they're still following to this day. I think we unfortunately have to break that cycle a little bit and start experimenting. And maybe that's the opportunity that they are given now, with the whole world having access to cloning dinosaurs. Anyways, guys, that's just my opinion on Jurassic World Rebirth. I'd really love to hear from you guys. What do you think is next for this franchise? How did you feel about this movie? Like I said, got my nitpicks, got my things I'm angry about, but kind of entertained with it, and I still enjoyed it at the end of the day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.